Some work cultures have back-to-back meetings where they can barely get a breath and their whole work week is filled with meetings. If this is you and you want things to change, here is hope. Here are some things to do. So the first thing is to have a conversation with the team that wants to change this. If you are the lone wolf, the only one who wants to make this change, is going to look really different than if you're doing it culturally. And it tends to be a culture, meaning that there are certain departments that are really meeting heavy and way overwhelmed in terms of meetings. It's not usually just one or two folks within that department or organization that have it. So the first is have a conversation and ask, what is our objective? What's our goal in terms of how we do meetings around here? And you may say, well, we want to have more breathing room. We want to have time to do the actual work of doing the work. We want to be involved in less things, whatever it might be. And also figure out what's at stake if you don't change. Often it's a burnout kind of mentality, or people feeling exhausted, or not having much joy at work. So that's the first step. So you have to get committed to making a change, because change is hard. The second is, let's talk strategies. So the first is, do you want to collectively decide you are going to have 25-minute meetings and 55-minute meetings, meaning whenever you are inviting somebody, when we typically have a half an hour or 60 minutes, we're going to make it actually less as a culture, so that there's buffer time and time to pee or breathe for a moment, get from meeting to meeting, so everybody's not just late. Another is, can everybody block on their calendar daily, even if it's just for a half an hour, focus time that doesn't get usurped by something else? Also, can you create a culture where there is a permission to decline based on a few parameters? First of all, if the meeting doesn't have a clearly stated objective. Secondly, if it's done, if you're invited within 48 hours or less. If it doesn't have an agenda in the invite. Those are just a few different ways to be able to decline. Also, can you, for the optional people who it's not totally imperative, can they be CC'd instead of put in the required line? Do you want to have another idea like 5 meetings max per day? And once I've done that, then I have permission to decline. Those are a few thoughts. The last thing is I'm going to encourage everybody on that team that is trying to reduce the pace, not the pace, but the feeling of I'm always in a meeting, to take a lunch. And the reason is because if we aren't taking a lunch, or we aren't taking real breaks for a 5-minute walk, or to walk the stairs, or to get out of the office and stop doing work kind of things, there is this culture where it is back to back to back to back to back. We don't ever stop. And so this starts to change the culture where we're allowed to stop, we're allowed to take breaks. We don't always have to be engaging with something on our calendar. Okay, hope this helps.